Well, I want to ask you about the budget because the city of Seattle is projected to have a $224 million budget shortfall in 2025. The city's mandated to pass a balanced budget, so the options to address this are either raise revenue, cut services, or some combination of those two. Which one of those will be your approach to the budget?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Crystal, because and obviously this comes up a lot. Um, First and foremost, I think we need to look at the budget and make sure that we are accountable to the dollars that we're currently investing. So I say that to say we need to look at the programs that are being funded and make sure that they're having the outcomes that we intended. Because part of budgeting is making sure that the money that you're using is being well spent. And you don't know that if you don't know what outcomes you're getting. How many, folks are you helping? Is it really helping? Does the community feel like it's helping? And so we need to do the reviewing of those programs in each of those departments to make sure that the programs that we're funding are actually, like I said, having the intended outcomes. If they are, then we should continue them. If they're not, then we should redirect the resources to something different that will have the outcomes that we're intending. So we need to engage in that exercise before then we look at, raising revenue. And so that to me is really important, the accountability piece. I feel really strongly. I mean, my dad was a blue collar worker, and he paid taxes, and I'm very sensitive. People work really hard for their money, and we want to make sure that we're spending their money. We're accountable to those dollars. And then once we do that exercise, then we can look toward if we need to raise revenue, then we can look at how we would do that. But I do feel like the accountability piece is really important and it's been missing.
Well, I do want to get into more specifics here because that is not a small budget cut, pretty significant. So, unless that review winds up with some pretty steep cuts, or that's the outcome that will end up, there will also need to be revenue. There were some options presented by a revenue work group. Do you support revenue options, and which ones do you see yourself supporting or advocating?
Yeah, Crystal, I can't say now which ones I would support. I'd look at it and see and talk to, folks and see, and then talk to my colleagues and see what makes sense for the city. And talk to the mayor, obviously, as well. So, we need to do this working together. We need to find these solutions working together as a city council and working with the mayor. So I can't say today which ones I would support, but I will say that we need to work together to look at which ones make the most sense for the city.
Are there any of the recommendations that you would not support, or what would be the priority revenue options, or what you'd be most likely to support?
I can't say today what that would be.
Okay, so nothing from the work group that you've heard makes it to the top of the list.
There's nothing today that I wouldn't prioritize it right now. I'd want to have conversations about it.
Gotcha. I do want
Yeah,
to
I
talk
haven't
about
met with the work group and I haven't had the opportunity to have those conversations.
I see.